Hey everyone, today I'm joined by Sum 41. David, thank you so much for doing this. I understand it's your day off, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, days off are they're very relative in the band, and especially on this last tour. I've been taking a few days off to do some kind of fun interviews, stuff like that. So I mean, it's a day off, but I don't consider something like this work or anything like that. So yeah,
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I'll take that as a compliment that I'm so super
there you
fun to
go.
hang out with that you do it in your free time. So
Yeah.
let's let's get into the questions. So you've just played Wembley in London, is that right? And was it
Yeah. So we just did OVO Hydro, and it was just crazy. It was like I was sitting there during the last song thinking, like, I can't believe my entire career in Britain is kind of flashing before my eyes right now. Derek gives this beautiful speech before we play In Too Deep, and I was just sitting there thinking, like, I can't believe it's been, about 25 years of shows in London. And to kind of make that initial quick rise and play a Wembley back in like 2003, and then kind of bookend that with a last show at Wembley. It was really moving and beautiful. And I keep on describing this emotion that I've never felt before because it's kind of like loss and happiness at the same time,
Mhm.
but not in a morbid sense. It's more like reflective happiness, but in the moment feeling loss.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, it's a bittersweet kind of thing that that I can relate
Absolutely.
to.
Yeah.
It's good that you've got a little bit more time now on this touring stretch to have a lot of those moments, and hopefully that you can,
Yeah.
properly savor them. Was it a Halloween show? Is that correct? Was it on the
It
31st?
was a Halloween show. It was a Halloween show. And Frank forgot that it was Halloween. So he was looking out the crowd and just never put it together until about maybe the fourth song that it was Halloween. He was like, why are all these people dressed up? What, like, when did our fans in London get so crazy? Yes.
That's
So the whole
amazing. That's
time
so
he's,
funny.
yeah. So if you see the pictures and Frank has a confused look on his face for at least three songs in the set, you know exactly why.
That's why. Okay. Until we
Yeah.
put two and two together. Did you have any?
Yeah.
I mean, I try not to I don't like spoilers,
Yeah. Yeah.
when
Yeah.
I go to a gig, so I haven't looked at any pictures, haven't looked at the set list and stuff. But yeah, were there any costumes involved? Any banana themed
You
costumes or
know what?
something?
No, not this year. This year. That's
Sure.
club shit. We can't be doing those on the big stages.
Sure.
But you heard about this banana costume, eh?
I did. Yes.
Yeah. So wait, are you talking about people dressed up as bananas
I mean, yeah,
or
or bananas
a
being
particular
covered
event?
in certain area, like certain areas, you know.
That
Use your
was
imagination. I don't know. I don't know. And I don't know what went down in
was
London, so you tell
listen,
me.
the all I'll say is that the motto of Portland, Oregon is let's get weird. And yeah, it got weird. It got
Lives
weird.
up, lives up to
So
the name.
yeah,
Cool.
but I did see a banana in a t-shirt walking around Cardiff with my cousin. So I've never seen that. Just
A
with the t-shirt
banana,
over the banana costume.
a banana in a t-shirt. Right. Okay.
Yeah,
That's dedication.
very professional. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, and speaking of not liking spoilers and such, but I do have to ask, is
Yeah.
is is a is there the possibility on this last run of shows of a reunion of Taint for Pleasure?
You
Is that a thing?
know, we've been sweeping the venues trying to make sure that Pain for Pleasure are not present because they are, although they're very old, they're very good at hiding in venues. And, once we get off the stage, they somehow sneak past our techs, take our guitars, and get up there and do that fucking awful song that they always do. Will it happen? I don't know. Those guys they're wild cards. So we'll
Unpredictable.
see.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's okay. Okay, let's keep it at that. I'll be at the
Yeah.
Hamburg show. So I'll be
Nice. Nice.
checking out who may or may not appear.
Yeah. Look in the rafters, look for fake mustaches, stuff like that, because I
Got
feel
it,
like
got
that's
it.
how they would do it. Yeah.
Getting back on the sort of nostalgic aspect of the nature of this tour. So you're not only
Hmm.
saying goodbye to, to touring, to fans, but it's a sort of goodbye also to connecting with people all over the world with different cultural backgrounds and all that kind of stuff. Or at least, doing that on a regular basis. And all the different people that you meet through your job that otherwise you probably wouldn't meet. Is there anything, or is there anything that you've learned through this sort of almost like cultural exchange, and how has that shaped you as a person? And what are you going to miss about that aspect?
Well, if my years in Sum 41 have taught me anything about humanity, which is I assume what the question is,
Sort of, yeah.
um, we we all have perspective. So whether that perspective follows each other's or the norm or what's its societal norms, this and that, it's all based in something. So we all are who we are because of what we've lived and been through. So for me, my time in Sum 41, especially culturally and just being around so many people, it's kind of made me into a person where in today's climate, there seems to be a divide between one team and the other. Um, and it seems to be a lot of like, you should be like this, you should be like this, you should be like this. Whereas my time in Sum 41 has taught me to be like, well, why do you think that way? What 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 can I learn from you? What can we discuss? It's just taught me to take a calm approach to everything involving conversation, human beings, and even just speed bumps that come along in the road. Like being derailed from certain plans, expectations. It's helped me manage those, and yeah, I just think that because of this unique thing that we've been able to do, it's given me a patience, and I think that's the best thing that I've walked away from through this whole experience. And that's especially with human
Mm-hmm.
beings because I'm a naturally nurturing human being, and I definitely get that from my mom.
That's a lovely answer. So maybe talking again about what I mean, your musical legacy, what you've created, and now with this last album, Heaven and Hell. I mean, I didn't know what to expect when I first listened to it. I'm a
Mhm.
long time Sum 41 fan. I
Ah,
mean,
thank you.
I know you. Well, this isn't your era, but
No way.
look at
That's an
how.
original?
Yes, look at how tiny that shirt is. So that t-shirt that must have been 2007. So
That is so cool.
yeah, so literally grew up listening to you guys. And so this interview actually is on my bucket list, and this I knew this was going to be the last chance
Oh.
that I'd get to speak to you, and I've been doing interviews for many years, and so I'm like, bucket
Oh,
list.
oh no, I'll
Um,
be nothing but available come February. Yeah.
True, true.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, plenty of time
Yeah.
to spare.
But that's I had no idea, and that's a massive compliment. And
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
people doing things like saving t-shirts, holding on to those memories that make this band relevant today and made the rebuild back in 2015
Mm,
like an easy process. So thank
yeah.
you. That's awesome.
Oh, absolutely. Like I was going all in. Like I was the the whole aesthetic with like black and pink and
Oh yeah.
yeah, I put like posters on my wall, and I was writing
Oh yeah.
like like lines from songs in my notebooks and stuff like that. And but nobody understood.
Yeah, it can be isolating, loving a certain thing, but
Yeah.
I'm glad you stuck it out. Yeah. I used
But
to have to hide my punk rock records underneath my bed from all
oh,
my metal friends. It was back when
oh,
heavy metal and punk rock were very, very divided.
yes. And I
Yeah.
so when I lived in the US as a teenager, that's when I first so I thought I was really tough listening to the kind of pop punk like you know like your kind of
Yeah.
scene. And the skater kids and like the actual like punk kids, they like give me shit for listening to all the whiny bands, you know.
Uh,
But really, look,
well,
I'm 34 years old now, and like that's still the music that I gravitate to, you know. Like my musical taste, sorry, hasn't evolved over 15, 16 years. So I think that says something, you know.
that's amazing. And I mean to kind of to answer to those people that made you feel a certain way about listening to bands like Sum 41 and our peers. Fuck them. Punk rock is exactly what you want it to be. As long as you're not hurting anybody, you can do whatever the fuck you want. You know, I mean, we're talking about people that drew punk rock influences from Detroit techno. You know what I mean? Like it's out there, it's real, and it's not for anybody to tell you how to be a punk.
I agree. I mean, and in that
Yeah,
sense, you know, the most punk thing, wow, a tongue twister. The most punk thing you can
that's all right.
do is to just do your thing and not listen to people who are telling you to be a certain way or that you're not tough enough or whatever.
Yeah,
And also, I mean, I'm sure that you've noticed this in your scene. I feel that most like heavy bands now have pop influences.
absolutely.
Everyone
Yeah,
else.
I grew up on like Duran Duran, you know what I mean? Like just the old pop stars from the 80s. God, Samantha Fox was in heavy rotation, Whitney Houston.
Amazing.
Like
Yeah.
these are all artists that because pop music is very palatable and very easy to consume. And there are some very, of course, like every music, there are people that are sometimes maybe capitalizing, but then there's also really true and beautiful stuff. And that's all subject to who's listening to it.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, my pop influences definitely come through, and I think it's why I gravitate towards songs with groove and bands that appreciate that beautiful the execution of the backbeat.
Yeah. Off of your entire discography, is there any
Hmm.
album or song which you feel hasn't really gotten the love it deserved? Whether that is, you know,
Wow. Oh,
it being played live or it being mentioned by any sort of publications or anything that's kind of underrated where you're like,
hmm.
I would have loved this song or this album to have gotten a little bit more love.
Wow. Okay. I would say, oh, because we had a label backing us. There's a song called "Handle This."
No,
Off of All Killer
Dave.
No Filler. Yeah,
Okay, this is oh my God. Okay, I literally no. Okay, you go first, and then
yeah.
then I'll
It
respond to
was
that.
just
That's amazing.
it was one of those songs. Yeah, like we were in Toronto. We were practicing at 401 Richmond for anybody that wants to go check out the building. Um, we were in the basement and we were with Jerry Finn, and it was just one of those songs that he worked very hard on with us. And he was just kind of like, yeah, it has such great potential, and it ended up being a really, really good song. And we did end up releasing it. It's just at that point we were kind of like, okay, well, we're in next record mode. We're ready to start writing. We don't want to do like a big radio push or anything like that. We had just had massive success with Fat Lip and In Too Deep, and I believe Motivation didn't go as big as those two. So it was it was one of those songs that not got pushed to the wayside, but I don't think as much effort was put into the marketing side of that song
Hmm.
as uh as the song deserved because I still think it's a great one.
The one that got away. That is amazing. I'm
Yeah,
freaking out just a little bit. I mean, based on my
same
reaction, as you
song.
can see. Well,
Yeah,
like one of the songs, so prior to this interview, I kind of, went down memory lane and listened to
yeah.
all the, all even like half hour power, like really the OG kind of releases and handle this. So I remember this because for some reason, like my favorite number is nine, and
Oh wow.
usually the track number nine happens to be my favorite song off of many records. Like on a lot of
Whoa.
records, it's like, oh, this is my favorite song so far. What track number is it? Oh, it's number nine. And so yeah, same with Handle This. And I mean, just a couple days ago, so on Spotify, I have playlists that are based on months. So
Yeah.
I've got one for every month of the year throughout the years. And so
Oh,
I
no
just
way.
was like, oh, like obviously that record I owned a physical copy of, and so it wasn't in my Spotify playlist because 100 years
Hmm.
ago. And so I just dragged
Yeah.
that song into my playlist of October, um, and I'm very happy to hear that you feel that that was an underappreciated song because for some reason, I thought maybe you would say a song with a mega heavy guitar solo or something, like a super metally song. So I'm very pleased that
Yeah,
yeah,
I just
we have
think over
that
the
in
years, I
common.
understand that sometimes um the just the want to to play a solo doesn't mean it's the best song live.
Hmm.
So yeah, yeah. I mean, there's solos are definitely good moments for songs, but yeah, it's the song on the whole because everybody on stage has got to have a good time and everybody in the crowd at the same time. So
Yeah.
yeah, Handle This definitely good pick, by
Wow.
the way. Number nine.
Yeah. Brilliant. Brilliant. And I don't think I've ever heard it live.
Yeah.
So yeah, who knows? Okay, maybe last question, because I don't want to stress you out.
Oh,
It's a
you're all good. You're all good.
Okay. It's a question about the members of the band. So you've spent a lot of time together in this, I mean, probably indescribable roller coaster ride that I think anyone that hasn't had a similar experience as a touring musician with a success on that level, like it's hard to relate what that does to people who have been in this together. So my question is, how does each of the members contribute to the dynamic, to the friendship dynamic, I guess? Like what
Ah,
do
okay.
each of you have as a characteristic or something that you appreciate and that you're going to miss if if you don't spend so much time together anymore in the future? So yeah, not
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's
Can you
definitely
think
going to
of
be
something?
things that we're going to miss for sure. I have Cone close to me. So Cone is he's a ride or die human being. Okay. He will always tell you what he thinks. He's always honest with how he's feeling. And for someone like me, that I always appreciate that. Um, Frank has a drive and a want to stay musical, stay within the arts, and with mind and body, the guy is very focused on movement, always staying movement, always staying moving, and always staying on top of the game. And I love that about him. It's a very inspiring drive. Um, Tom is absolutely warm and a very loving and kind individual. Always takes time to answer my never-ending questions about music theory, keys, this and that, um, and always has time to check in, say hello, ask how I'm doing, and it's the same back. You know what I mean? And Derek, we've been friends for 30 years. Like we met on the first day of high school. Um, we are the type of friends where we can be talking in the same room or just silent in the same room. It doesn't
Hmm.
matter. It's
Hmm.
just I can't explain the connection because I don't really have a proper word for it, but it's just amazing. It's with all of these guys, and Derek especially because he was the one that asked me into this whole thing and got me to join the band. You know, he could have stopped asking me because I was in a rival band and I kept on like pushing the audition to the side,
Right.
right, to come and join the band back when we were
Hmm.
17. I thought I was going to make it in my band, but yeah, that persistence and that focus and that energy that he shoots off and just the good vibe that we have when we're hanging out together. It's like all we like doing is laughing
Hmm.
when we talk about things and even when we get deep, we'll always just break things up with a little joke. And yeah, I'm gonna miss all these things. And these guys, they're my brothers, they're my business partners, they're so it's family and beyond. And yeah, I wouldn't trade these years with these human beings, Steve-O included, um, for anything, because they're just, yeah, brilliant individuals. And we got together and had this chemistry that um, became a part of people's lives all across the globe. And it's the most daunting imposter syndrome, but it's also the most beautiful feeling when that imposter syndrome doesn't creep in.
Mm. Hmm.
And yeah, it's thanks to people like you. Like yeah, sorry, I just went into a deep part of my brain
No,
reflecting on everything.
I love it. I'm
Yeah.
so here for it. That's amazing to hear how over all these years you did not become jaded. You're just as appreciative uh, as on day
Yeah.
one. So that's amazing. That's great to hear. That was quite moving, actually. And honestly, I mean, I don't know how it's going to be when you guys leave the stage on the fifth. I'm probably going to cry a little bit. I don't know. But I'll be there by myself, so it might be a little bit weird. But it's not that I haven't cried in public
No.
before by myself, so it's all good.
Going to concerts by yourself and crying, that's nothing to be ashamed of. It's not
I
weird, especially for
I
that
have done that
moment
before.
that we're all going to be going through
Mm,
at that point, especially those of us that have spent a long time with the band.
mm.
And yeah, I mean, you're a part of the family. So yeah,
Oh,
it's not going to be weird at all.
um, I'm like, oh, do I have any wise, like famous, not famous last words, but in anything? I can't really think of anything epic to close the interview with, other than thank you so much for the past 25 plus years. And yeah, I mentioned you've been a great part of my musical upbringing. It was literally, it was actually Simple Plan first, who then introduced
Yeah, our
me to Sum
boys.
41.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. So I don't know, like me and Avril, obviously, so me and like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Canadian musicians, there's a connection there. But yeah,
There's a
like,
tie.
yeah, yeah. Uh, and yeah, you're gonna be missed. There's definitely gonna be some form of a void in the scene, but yeah,
Well,
it is what it is, and we'll look back on these times with nothing but yeah, fond memories, and the music lives
well,
on. You know what I mean? So
no. Well, may
um,
I call you Sophie?
absolutely.
Thank you, Sophie, so much. I mean, to just even be considered on someone's bucket list,
Oh,
it
100%.
means a lot to all of us. And just picking up that T-shirt and you know showing that you have like OG merch and you've been there with us through essentially we all kind of refer to as the years where the band had to kind of go into the underground and really, really test its mettle. And I was on my own journey at that point too, trying to figure out the same things. But ultimately, it led us all to the same solution, which is we love doing this, and we do love the gratification through like-minded people that come to these shows and come and see us play these songs. And that kind of thing, it's such a rare and unique perspective that we've been given by, whatever chance, plan, fate. I'm not sure what it is, and I'll never know. But this type of thing, it really makes me believe that as human beings, we are more alike than we think. And the world is a very beautiful place. And I'm glad I've been afforded that point of view, thanks to people that come to our shows and share this beautiful thing that is Sum 41. And I'll forever be grateful for all of you that have come to shows.
Amazing. Let's end it right here before I ruin it.
No,
thank you so much,
right.
Dave.
Listen, yeah. I appreciate you taking the time and thanks for giving me a little bit of extra time. I know my answers can get long, so.
No, pleasure's all mine. I don't have any time restriction. Thank you so much again. Really appreciate it. And I can't wait to see you one more time on stage here in Hamburg. Yeah.
Thank you. I'll play extra great that night. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay.
All the best. Take care and thanks again.
Cheers,
thank you,
Dave.
you too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.